Senator Rand Paul criticizes the Republican Party's leadership over its lack of fiscal responsibility. This after the GOP blocked a key pro-life measure proposed by Senator Paul, and One America's Kristian Rouz looks into the matter.
The Republican Party leadership blocks a measure to defund Planned Parenthood as part of the discussions over the budget bill for next fiscal year. The measure was introduced by Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who argues defunding Planned Parenthood would save American taxpayers almost $500 million per year.
My amendment would end funding to Planned Parenthood. My amendment is already included in the House version. And yet, my amendment is now being blocked by Republicans. Now, everybody knows that Democrats love abortion and Planned Parenthood, more than life itself. But Republicans?
Senator Paul's amendment to next year's appropriations bill would reduce funding for the Departments of Labor and Health and Human Services, which are currently transferring the money to Planned Parenthood. Supporters of the measure said it had high chances to pass Senate and go into effect, as a similar provision was already included in the House budget bill. But Senate GOP leaders said the move was deemed too controversial to adopt just ahead of the midterms, a stance drawing harsh criticism from Senator Paul.
Big spending Republicans fear that blocking funding for Planned Parenthood would derail their plans to greatly expand the welfare warfare state.
Contrary to Republican leadership's claims, public opinion polls suggest defunding Planned Parenthood would mobilize GOP voters ahead of the upcoming elections. A poll from McLaughlin and Associates found 48% of Americans support cutting abortion funding.
Planned Parenthood selling body parts, negotiating, discussing how they actually commit abortions, and they manipulate the way they do the abortions based on what organs they want to harvest.
Despite the government saying federal funds are only used for non-abortion purposes, a separate study from Duke University found government subsidies cover up to 25% of Planned Parenthood's abortion costs. This amounts to a quarter of the 320,000 babies aborted by Planned Parenthood each year.
Of the 320,000 babies aborted by Planned Parenthood every year, about 1,000 would become doctors, 1,500 would become engineers, 1,200 lawyers, 3,400 teachers, and 400 pastors. But all of that potential is lost each year as a consequence of Planned Parenthood.
Senator Paul said his provision would help reduce the bloated governmental spending and curb the pandemic of abortions across the nation. He stressed the Republican leadership only blocked his measure to justify elevated spending elsewhere, including war, welfare benefits, and federal bureaucracy.
So be it. The public has long known that Democrats are the abortion party. Now the public will know that many Republicans just give lip service to pro-life issues and really are more concerned with bloated government spending than saving lives.
Despite being blocked from ongoing discussions, Senator Paul's amendment is technically delayed for later consideration, likely until after the midterms. But supporters of the move insist Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell must come to his senses and act now, echoing Senator Paul's urge for a greater fiscal responsibility.
Republican leadership has the power to unblock the amendment tree and allow the vote. The question is, what is more important to these Republicans, saving lives or spending money?
Kristian, Rouz, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.